Hi and welcome to the Arsenal Circle, here to talk to you today about the problem with MIKEL Arteta and if there even is one. Now this comes because of not a reactionary thing, as you would assume an Arsenal fan, one draw against Fulham, I'm reacting to it with a negative view on Arteta. There's a problem with Arteta, but it's more about the ongoing things that I've noticed, and by all means I want him to stay in charge. I think he is the right man for the job, but these are just a couple of the problems that I've picked up that I think need to be dealt with. The first problem that I've noticed with Arteta is the in-game mismanagement. Now this comes in many forms. First of all, it comes in substitutions. Now this has improved a lot this season because we have more options. Like last season I kind of understood it because we didn't have as much depth on the bench, we didn't have the better options. But I still thought that we needed to bring on more we need to use the substitutions. You get 5 substitutions in the Premier League, and last season we would only use 1 or 2 a game in the 90th minute. And I want to see us, a bit more when we need a goal in the 70th minute to bring on a striker or an attacker. For example, if Jesus is starting 70th minute, we're not winning, and Nketiah might be the one to give us that clinical finish. Vice versa, if we need to defend, we got a lead that we need to keep, bring on a defender, right? It's just that use of substitutions that we're not using enough, and this is purely a direct problem from Arteta. He has worked on it a lot, and you can see that he's improved upon it. But I just noticed the fact that now we have so much depth, we need to use this depth, because the reason City win so much with their depth, it's not because they have the depth, it's because they use it. You see they start one team, and then by the end of the game it's a whole different team on the pitch, and that's what we need to be able to do. The second mid-game management sort of problem that I've noticed is this experimentation. This isn't fully mid-game, this is also the starting 11, but it's to do with the squad. We've been starting Partey at right back, we've been starting all these players out of position. Havertz is a cam, even though we brought him in to be a striker. I'm not even sure what we brought him in to do, but we definitely didn't bring him in to be a cam, because let's face it, he's not doing the job. I think Havertz should be playing more of a central midfielder role. I think that would be the perfect role for him, because he cannot finish to save his life, and it's really getting on my nerves. And he does progress the ball forward, and that's sort of what he is able to do, and it's helping. He's a good player, you can see that, but he just hasn't been it for us. And that all of this sort of playing players out of position, it comes down to this experimentation sort of thing. And I understand it to a degree, but we shouldn't be doing this in Premier League games where this is the one trophy that we are trying to go for this season. We're trying to win the Premier League after just falling short last season. And in the Premier League, now all of a sudden, we're starting Kiwior at left back, Partey at right back, Ben White's gone back to centre back, Havertz is playing as a cam, even though it's not working. Trossard, is starting as a striker by himself. I think if Trossard should be starting, there needs to be a proper striker with him. And there's just all these things going on. Odegaard's moving deeper, but then he's also a cam. All these experimentation things that I think need to be improved upon with Arteta. The third mid-game thing that I'm noticing is the attitude. Now, the problem that I have with Arteta is that he likes to get very aggressive with the referees. I say very aggressive, but he complains a lot, and that's fine to a certain extent. When there's a clear and obvious error with the referee, you're understandably going to be annoyed, you're going to have a go at them and all that, but it translates to the players. The players started getting more aggressive, and then we start getting cards. A red card will come out, and all these things, and it was particularly noticeable with Granit Xhaka last season. But this season I've noticed Arteta, he's already got a yellow card in the game. And as soon as he starts getting aggressive and starts having a go at the referee, our players start getting more aggressive, picking up more yellow cards. And you don't need that sort of aggression translating to the players. You need more of a calm attitude with the manager, and he is able to do that. You've seen him able to do that. But sometimes something just snaps in him, and we need that to change. And yeah, so that's kind of the third sort of issue that I've got with the mid-game management. And the final thing is when we are a goal up and there's half an hour left in the game, there's this all-out defending. Now this is the point I want to highlight the most, because this is the reactionary side of things. This is the Fulham, right? Fulham is the most obvious example. It's the most recent example. We are a goal up, 20 minutes left, and Fulham have a red card, and we are sitting back like our lives depend on it. Why? It is Fulham. We are Arsenal. We should be pushing for another goal. We should be pushing for 2 more goals. We should be pushing to be 4-1 up. You know what I mean? We have the attacking capabilities to do that, and I guarantee if we weren't just sat back doing nothing, you know, we might have got forward and got another goal in, and then we're sitting comfortable. Then we can sit back because we've got a 2-goal lead. You know, we have this safety net. The problem is sitting back 1 goal up. We are very prone to mistakes. We're a young squad. A lot of our players make mistakes. We concede corners a lot as well. Any goal can come from a corner. Any goal can come from a free kick. We concede fouls. And when you're defending like that, you cannot put yourself in a situation where no matter what, it could go in. For example, if a corner, someone whips it in with the exact perfect, you know, whip, and then someone gets a header on it, there's not much players can do about that. I mean, you saw it with Paulinho. It just fell to his feet. He got lucky. It's a jammy goal. But that's going to happen in football, and this happens all the time. We were 1 goal up against loads of teams last season. I can't recall any off the top of my head, but then we just kept doing it, and a lot of the time we hold on to it. We never lose when we're 1 goal up with this all-out defend mentality. We never lose like that. But oftentimes we throw away 3 points and trade it for 1 because we are defending for our lives, expecting not to concede. And whilst our defenders are very good, and again, often we do keep that 1 goal lead, it happens too many times now that we let in a jammy goal and we're just defending. Also, just out of a pleasure kind of experience, I am bricking it when we start defending and we're 1 goal up. I should not be that nervous when we are defending against 10-man Fulham. I should not be that nervous, and I was, and for good reason, because we conceded in the end. And it's just heartbreaking because you know that if we'd gone forward, we could have got another goal. Let's be honest, our attackers are very good. They're the strong point of our team. We need to be able to use that and get a goal from them. The second main problem I've noticed with MIKEL ARTETA, and now this isn't fully down to MIKEL ARTETA, so I'm not going to put all the blame on him, is the left-back situation. The first thing I want to go over is why on earth did we sell Kieran Tierney? Now, I can't imagine this was all Arteta, because that would be really stupid if it was. However, he had to play a big role in the deal because for some reason he has no faith in Kieran Tierney. And yes, we sent him out on loan, so it's not like we fully got rid of him. And, you know, we would be really silly not to fully get rid of him. But why do we even run the risk of getting rid of him? Notice how we brought in Timber to cover for fullbacks and defensive roles, and Zinchenko was injured. What happened when Timber got that injury in the first game? Why didn't we play Tierney? I'll tell you why, because he was moving to Real Sociedad. But imagine he wasn't, and Tierney was starting there instead of Kiwior. Kiwior should not be playing at left back. I feel bad for the guy. He's being forced to start as a left back when that's not really his position. And Tierney I feel bad for him as well. It's almost as if we don't know what we're doing. We're just playing anyone left back instead of Tierney. It's like Tierney shagged Arteta's wife. I have no idea why there's this agenda against Tierney. He's a great player. Yeah, he makes a couple mistakes, and yeah, he's not the perfect player, but my God, is he better than Kiwior at left back? And he's a great, he's a great player. And honestly, at some points last season, I would have had him over Zinchenko, considering how mistake-prone Zinchenko could be. But even if we're playing Zinchenko, and we have Kiwior, and we have Timber fit, why not keep Tierney as an extra option? Tierney is our only other left back at the club. Zinchenko is barely a left back. A lot of people are saying we should play him in midfield. Timber's not a left back. He's a right back originally, can play centre back, but we have been playing him left back, and he can fill the role, but he's not a left back. Kiwior's not a left back. He can play there, but he's not a left back. I mean, we've seen his best work be done as left centre back. I just don't understand what this. I don't understand the whole transfer business around getting rid of Tierney. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I understand that this may not be fully in Arteta's control, but you have to concede that he must have had some influence in this decision. And that's the reason why, this is the second problem I have with Mr. Arteta. Now, this isn't really an ongoing thing. This is just more of a short-term thing, and I hope it is solved. I hope Nuno Tavares has just gone out on loan as well, by the way, so we don't have him. If you wanted to say him, he's gone to Forest. So we just don't have a left back apart from Zinchenko, and that worries me as a team that's challenging for the title. I thought the whole point was depth, and we're selling players. I don't really get it. Moving on to the third problem and final problem I have with Mikel Arteta. And again, not fully his problem, but I would put it mainly down to him because it's up to him to get this right. And it's big game mentality. Now, we are too cautious going into games against big teams. Now, what I mean by that is we go into games against big teams and we're worried to play them. We should be excited to play these teams. We should be fighting for these points, and we do. However, what is going on where we play these big teams and we look nervous on the ball? All of a sudden, we're misplacing passes all over the place. And yeah, that is the players doing that. But it's up to Arteta to keep him at a cool head. You know, oftentimes we play a lot more aggressive in these big games, and obviously that links to the mid-game management stuff that I was saying, that Arteta gets aggressive with the managers, he gets very emotional, and that's fine to an extent. But going into these big games, we need to keep a level head, we need to go out there and play our best football. And it feels like we play our best football against lower table teams, and then when we play the big teams, we play worse football. And sometimes we get a result against big teams. I mean, a lot of the time, actually. We beat Manchester United last season. We should have beat Liverpool last season. Obviously, we let that slip. We beat Chelsea last season, Spurs last season. We didn't beat City at all last season. In fact, we didn't even get a point off of them last season. We did beat them in the Community Shield, but come on. Like, it's a Community Shield. It just feels like we're big game bottlers oftentimes. As I said, we let the lead slip with Liverpool. Manchester United, the first game we played them last season, we should have beaten them. And it's just this sort of mentality thing. We should be going into the games expecting to win. We should go into every single game of the Premier League season going for win. Not expecting to win, sorry. But going for the win. Playing to win that match. And it feels like when we play Manchester City last season, specifically I'm going to highlight Manchester City because the other games we did play to win, but when we played Manchester City, it was almost like we were playing to draw, and that is just ridiculous. It's so stupid. We're Arsenal Football Club, we are a big club, we have good players, we are in this position now where we can fight for the league. We should be going against City trying to win. Now, I'm not necessarily saying we will win against Manchester City, but every time we play them, it seems like we're not trying to win. We're trying to draw. And that, you know, we should be, to reiterate my point, we should basically just be going for the win. We're too cautious, and oftentimes we let it slip against big teams because of this worry about them beating us. If we worry about them beating us, they're going to beat us. We shouldn't be worried about them beating us. We should worry about us beating them. Now, obviously, this has sounded a lot like an Arteta hate video, which is definitely not me. I love the guy. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful what he's done for Arsenal Football Club, because a couple years ago, I was watching us finish 8th place, and honestly, I fell out of love with football. Trying to watch my team finish 8th place, you know, that's really painful. The Euros had to bring me back into it when we made the final. And then after that, we started playing good football again. So we should definitely keep Mikel Arteta, you know, he makes the players believe. This is a very important thing. Every single player at Arsenal, when we've signed them, he's shown them the Premier League, the hole where the Premier League trophy should be. So we're going to win that. We got to fill this hole. And all of them, you can see their eyes light up. They want to play for this club. They believe that we can win the Premier League, and we can. It's possible. It's doable. And he puts the belief in players, and that is one of the most crucial things with Mikel Arteta. He makes every single player believe that we can win matches and that we can win the Premier League. The second big thing about why I think we should keep Arteta, and I make this list as if it's not obvious already, is the transfer pool. It is incredible how he is able to just convince any player to join this club. He's clearly convincing with his words. He's a great manager for transfer negotiations, so I really appreciate that about Mikel Arteta. The third thing is the youth. He has made our squad so much younger. He's brought in so many youth talented players. And so, whilst we may not be seeing the results now, if we're able to hold on to most of our players, you know, in a couple of years' time, we're going to see the fruits of his labour, and we're going to see these players blossom into their primes, playing unreal football. You know, Declan Rice is going to be in his prime soon. Saka is already just playing out of his skin. You know, all these young players, Saliba, Gabriel, Ramsdale, all of these young players. Timber's going to be an incredible player. All of these young players are going to be really good in the future, and it's all down to Arteta and the way that he's incorporated youth in the first team football of Arsenal and made youth relevant to this club again. The fourth thing is trophies. He's won 4 trophies for us in, I think, 4 years. That is not a bad return. Two Community Shields, 2 FA Cups. Now, I understand those aren't the most prestigious trophies, but we can still look at them as sorry, did I say 2 He hasn't won 2 FA Cups for us anyway. The fourth thing I want to talk about is trophies. Now, he has won us FA Cup, Community Shields. He has won us these trophies, and it's not like we could take that away from him. He is making us relevant again. That's the other thing I want to talk about. He's making us relevant again by winning trophies, by finishing higher in the league. Look at the progression under Arteta. We started as an 8th place team, not really competing for any trophies. We are now a 2nd place team, 2 Community Shields, 1 FA Cup, and we are now pushing for the title. He has made Arsenal a European contender again, which is something we weren't when he came in. He has made Arsenal relevant across the globe. You know, I can hear the UEFA Champions League theme at the Emirates again. That sounds so... If I said that 10 years ago, you'd be like, what do you mean? We're always in the Champions League. But we weren't for so long, and now we are, and we need to stay in the Champions League. And I think Arteta is the right man to keep us in the Champions League, to make us go far in the tournament. And I honestly think we'll give the Champions League a good run for its money, because we got the youth, we got flair, we got fire, and honestly, I'm more than happy to back MIKEL Arteta throughout this whole season. I do think he's the right man for the job. So don't let these problems that I've said that MIKEL Arteta supposedly has. Maybe they're problems, but at the same time, maybe they're just things that we can work on, and then over time, he will become a better and better manager. We have to remember that Arteta is also a young manager himself. He is still learning, and he has the influence of Pep, so he is going to get better and use that Pep influence to play better and better football, to make us play better and better football and win more and more. So, overall, I think Arteta is the right man for the job. Obviously, we should keep him. And despite the fact that there are these mistakes, I think we need to work on him. Now, what can we do? Well, there's nothing we can do. But I think Arteta is going to learn, and he's just going to keep perfecting his craft. And I think in a couple years' time, we will really see a proper... one of the best managers in the world out of MIKEL Arteta. These problems that I've said about him, these are easy fixes. Some of the things aren't even in his control. Some of these things will just change over time. And once they do, he is going to be a great manager. So I think we should keep MIKEL Arteta. There are clearly some minor problems, some things that need to be changed. But overall, keep MIKEL Arteta. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.